Hello everyone, today is July 12th, 2011. 3 weeks from default now. I've been giving updates as we go along. I think it started at 11 weeks from default or 9 weeks, I don't remember. But we're only 3 weeks away from that August 2nd date that we were given by Geithner, saying that, you know, we'd have to start picking and choosing what bills we pay at that point because we won't be able to make all of our past obligations, you know, debts that we owe. Our creative politicians have come up with a way of, as we're working on trying to come to an agreement with the debt ceiling. You know, they want to raise it, but they don't want to raise it without cutting, you know, trillions of dollars in spending. So one way they've come up with cutting $112 billion over the next 10 years is by cutting the amount of Social Security payments going out. You see, the Social Security recipients, they haven't received a raise in 2 years because of, you know, there's no inflation according to the government numbers. So now they're saying that they're actually overstating the inflation. So rather than not give a payment, they're going to take money away from them because they claim that inflation's actually being overstated because of the way that it's figured. You know, it should be, it's actually 1% lower. And they want to use a chained CPI where they, you know, they link together a bunch of months as opposed to every 2 years, how they're figuring it now. So, you know, I just couldn't believe this when I saw it. I've always believed that CPI is extremely understated, so they didn't have to give the raises to Social Security recipients and other things that they use those figures for. You know, we have things in the CPI like product substitution, where they use a, you know, flank steak instead of a New York. When prices go up, they figure, well, people are going to buy the cheaper meat, so substitute that in. And they got geometric weighting, where they say, well, people are going to use this more than that because, you know, the price on that's gone up. So they weight other things more heavily than, you know, they had the prior time that they did the measurement. And then we have hedonic adjustments where they say, you know, laptop has a camera on it now, so it's more productive. So it's actually less expensive than the one that's more expensive because that one's not as productive, if that makes any sense. And currently in the CPI, housing is like 40% weighted. And you know how depressed housing is, so that right there has the number, the percentage, you know, extremely depressed. But anyway, they're saying that the number is overstated, and this is one thing they're proposing of how to work on cutting spending. So, you know, totally ridiculous. I couldn't believe when I heard this. This sort of reminds me of back in 73, 74 when Nixon had Arthur Burns come up with a way of you know, figuring the CPI so that it wouldn't look so embarrassing. Right after 1971, when they cut the link to gold, inflation started taking off. You know, they started printing up dollars, and food and energy was getting a lot more expensive, so they just cut it out and called it the core inflation. We don't want to use all the volatile numbers of food and energy, so this will be our core inflation, and you can headline this number instead of the real inflation number. I mean, so I guess it's time to do that again since inflation is taking off. Got to rework the numbers.